YB stays on your neck.
It's on my neck.
Yo, my dons, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. So as you can see on your screen here, Deontay Wilder has confirmed that fear of Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua will push him into an early retirement. Now, don't get me wrong, I know there's going to be a lot of hating ass dudes who read the title and will stay hating. Listen, Wilder is shook of Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua. Fact, it makes me laugh, you know. Since Ruiz got the belts, Deontay Wilder has nothing to say but about unification. Yeah? Let's get it straight. When AJ had the belts, unification, my man didn't want no parts of it. Well, man, I gotta handle my mandatory. Well, man, I'm fighting Luis Ortiz and then Tyson Fury. They played too many games, man. They being so disrespectful. Oh, man, why two black brothers gotta fight, man? Oh, man, why is it always the black brothers that gotta fight? These are the things that he was saying. He was shook. Oh, man, Anthony Joshua, we risk our lives in the ring, man. We gotta make sure we get paid. These are the things he was saying. Dillian Whyte, oh man, Dillian Whyte, why have I got to fight you for? I already given you 4 opportunities, man. Yeah. Dillian Whyte, if you go to Mars first, then I'll fight you when you get back. Yeah, Dillian Whyte, if you go to a black hole first, then I'll fight you. Putting all these statements in, saying he's already fought Dillian Whyte, he's already given Dillian Whyte the opportunity. These are the things he's saying. And now 2-2s, Ruiz gets the belts, and he wants every part of Ruiz. He wants him badly, just like he wants Fury, and even then, to be honest with you, no one wants anyone like Wilder wants Fury, but I'm not even sure he wants Ruiz, to be honest. I think he's already setting up a little thing here. If the Ruiz fight don't happen, he's already telling you, listen, that people are talking about if Ruiz beats AJ, they're talking about doing the Ruiz versus Wilder fight in between, after the Ortiz fight and before the Fury fight. So essentially, in 6 months, early next year, the Ruiz fight could be on if Ruiz beats AJ. And my man Wilder's saying here, so Wilder will be 34 by then. Wilder's saying basically, if I beat Ruiz in early 2019, I'm not staying around for long. Only wants to do a few defensive. Now for me, a few defenses sounds like 3 at most. 3 or about 3. 3's probably the midpoint of a few defenses. You see him, I'll read it out now quickly. He says, I'm not going to be in this game long. I want to unify the division and defend my titles a few times. But I don't know how many times in that field it would be. But it's not going to be a real long run for me. I just don't think so. I'm going to retire right. I came into the game right, and I'm in the position right now, and I'm a retire right. So let me translate that actually. I didn't really read it properly. He meant to, this is what he actually said. I'm not going to be in this game long when there's killers like Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte about. I want to unify the division and defend my titles a few times as long as neither one of them dudes, as long as none of them defenses involve Anthony Alakashkal Joshua, Dillian Whyte, or any other young, hungry, informed killer. But I don't know how many times in that field it would be, but it's not going to be a real long run for me. And it will be an even shorter run if my paths cross with anyone named Dillian Whyte or Anthony Alakashkal Joshua. I just don't think so. I'm going to retire right. Which I won't be able to do if Dillian Whyte or Anthony Alakashkal Joshua get their hands on me. These are the things he's saying. Read into it. I'm just adapting what he said. These are the facts. All you got to do is read between the lines. I came into the game right. So wait there, what are you trying to say? You're mentioning here, Wilder, I came into the game right. I'm in the position right now, and I'm a retire right. So you hear him here. He's scared of not retiring right. He's scared of having his consciousness punched clean out of his head. That's what he's telling you here. And he knows Fury can't do that. Why do you think he's chomping at the bit to get in the ring with Fury? Why do you think he's chomping at the bit to get in the ring with Ruiz? Ruiz ain't got no power. Ruiz hit AJ with how many clean shots? Hit him with everything but the kitchen sink. AJ's consciousness remained firmly in his head. Yeah? That's the fact of the situation. That's why he wants Ruiz. He wants Ruiz and he wants Fury because they can't do anything about it. They got no power. Yeah, fair play. Ruiz has got combinations, but he ain't got no power. Not like Dillian White, not like AJ has. Listen to what he's telling you here. He's realised, listen, if I can beat... Do the maths. Let's do the maths. If he can beat Ruiz in the first half of 2020, yeah, he fights old Tease, Luis Dinosaur Tease, in the last half of 2019. He then fights Ruiz in the first half of 2020. Then what do we know? He would be at that point unified champion. Then what did he say? He said he only wants to defend his titles a few times. Let's call it 3. Do the maths. So he beats Ruiz in early 2020. Three defences from then. What do we know? The Fury fight. There's 2 fights there. If he beats Fury 2 times back to back, that's that finished. Then he's got one more fight, and by then there'll be a mandatory. There'll be a random ass mandatory. And what do we know? He's with the WBC, so he'll get a fake ass mandatory in there. That'll be someone like, no doubt it'll be someone like, it'll probably be Bermane Stiverne 3. Or Dominic Brazil 2. Seriously. Because you can all laugh and say, oh, YB, you're being dramatic. How could it be Dominic Brazil 2? Well, some people would ask, the same way it could be Bermane Stiverne 2. What did Bermane Stiverne do to earn that second fight? So all jokes aside, genuinely, I could see a situation easily where they drag up Dominic Brazil again, and Dillian White will have been waiting for like 2,000 days or something. Seriously, so people can laugh and joke, but many people would have laughed and joked at the thought of Dillian White waiting 700 or 800 days, which is what it will be now. At best, Dillian White, even if they sanction it now, at best, Dillian White will have waited 800 days. Fact. Because 200 days from now is 6 months. Deontay Wilder physically cannot fight Dillian White until next year. So we're literally talking about the best part of 1,000 days before Dillian White could possibly fight Wilder. It's mental. Absolutely mental. And this dude here, he wants to nick the belts from Ruiz. And I'm not even sure he wins that fight. But if he does beat Ruiz, he wants to nick the belt from Ruiz. And this, in reality though, even if he does beat Ruiz, there's likely to be a rematch clause. So there's your 3 fights there. He beats Ruiz the first time. Then the rematch clause. That's his first defence. His first defence would be the rematch clause. Then he fights Fury 2 times. He beats Fury the first time. Then there'll be a rematch clause there. Second time. Bang. There's 3 fights. Ruiz 2, Fury 3. Bang. 3 defences. What more can I say? It's all planned out. Even if you want to say, okay, a few times mean 4 times, well, fine. He fights Ruiz twice, Fury twice, then the 5th fight will be a mandatory, and that'll be some WBC mandatory, no doubt, versus a complete stiff. It's not a good look, man. It really is not a good look at all. Anyway, he finishes off by saying, I want people to appreciate me right now while I'm still in this sport. That's because I know they're going to when I leave. I just want you all to do it now because I'm not here for long. It makes me laugh. Like, this guy's talking about not being here for long and only wants people to appreciate him. Appreciate what? What have you done? You've had the WBC title for 4.5 years now. What have you done that people should be grateful for? What great risks or whatever have you taken? You ain't taken no risk. You ain't fought no one. You're making out you've been going through killer and killer and killer. I'm telling you now, all jokes aside, yeah, the reason Deontay Wilder is setting the scene for retirement already is because he realises there's a whole bunch of killers coming up. He's realised he can't run away from the legal obligation of the WBC and Dillian White. That foot's on his neck. He's realised AJ's coming in, homing in on him nicely. The WBC have got AJ. Even if AJ loses his rematch, yeah, AJ's in the WBC rankings at number 3. It will only take him a few fights, and he'll be mandatory behind Dillian White. Deontay Wilder has realised that writing's on the wall. These foots, everyone, all the killers are closing in on him. Daniel Dubois closing in on him. Joe Joyce closing in on him. He's realised there's too many young and hungry killers coming up. There's too many. Deontay Wilder was made to be around in the time of Klitschko. Because that time, Deontay Wilder would have thrived in that time. A time, you know what I mean, like 2005 to around 2013 or whatever. That period, that 10-year period, just full of stiffs and old men. Everyone was old and slow and out of form. There was no athletes around that period. That's why Klitschko, In reality, Klitschko wasn't even that good. In reality, in my opinion, he would have been. Listen, put Klitschko in the 90s. Everyone would have been over him like a rash. There was too many hard men in there. Too many men that would have stuck it on him. But that said, Klitschko was the best of an average bunch. That's the period Deontay Wilder was made for. He's the bum slayer, literally. People criticise me for saying that, but in all seriousness, he is the bum slayer. He loves it. He revels in it. He loves going in there when he's a 20-1 favourite versus the man who hasn't fought in 10 years, versus the man who's been out the ring and is inactive, who's never beat anyone. Look at Dominic Breazeale. Look at Bermane Stiverne 2. Even Bermane Stiverne 1. Deontay Wilder loves fighting out-of-form people. Look at the Fury fight. He didn't want no parts of the Fury fight back in 2015, but he was all over it. And Shelley Finkel even admitted, Wilder even admitted, yeah, the reason we took that fight was because we thought it was a good shot. It was a good shot for us because we thought Fury was shot to pieces. We thought Fury was out of form. You have to ask yourself these questions. And now he's come out and told you he don't want to. If he wins the belts from Ruiz, he doesn't want to have many title defences. What's that about? I thought you was all talking about all this legacy business. Do people forget legacy isn't about belts? Like you beating Bermane Stiverne for the WBC belt, that's not a legacy. A legacy win would have been stepping up, seeing how far your balls hang, and taking the belt from Vitali. If Wilder had fought Vitali, win or lose, I would have given him respect for that. You've never heard me mention age. Like, as an example, when Fury beat Klitschko, you haven't heard me talk about how old Klitschko was. He beat him. It was a boring ass win, but he beat him nonetheless. If they want to give him that win, fine. My point is, Wilder he's never been about legacy. Legacy is doing things other people don't want to do. AJ does things other people don't want to do. He steps up, gets in there, gets stuck in, back to back, fights everyone. He looks for the best fight every time. He looks for the most informed person. Fights Andy Ruiz. In form, literally just come off a fight. Gets him in the ring. No problem. Looks for the best person. Hunts the best person down every time. This last fight, this June 1st fight. Let's not forget, Wilder was offered it. Fury was offered it. Dillian Whyte was offered it. Everyone was offered it. No one wanted it. He ends up slipping on a banana skin. That's how it goes. When you roll the dice, you get respect from that in my book, because you're rolling the dice every time. Same as Dillian Whyte, to be fair. Because apart from AJ, Dillian Whyte was prepared to fight anyone and everyone. Taking the best fight. Many people are actually backing Rivas to beat Dillian Whyte. Now, I haven't actually really watched much of Rivas, so I can't comment, but I'm backing Dillian. But we'll see. What we do know is, Rivas is in form, undefeated and hungry. He wants to smoke. On a serious note, who on Wilder's resume is like a Rivas? Seriously. Wilder has never beaten someone the calibre of Rivas. Rivas would absolutely school Ortiz. He'd bully him. Too young, too fresh. And people want to talk about how great Ortiz is. Who has Ortiz beat? What wins? What young hungry lion wins does Ortiz have? Who? No one. He's beat no one his whole career. Seriously, he's beat literally no one. He's known for getting knocked out by Wilder. And you can all sit there and say, "Oh, but that's Wilder." But Bermane Stiverne didn't get knocked out. Fury didn't get knocked out. So what are you talking about? He's not that great. The first two people that actually came to fight and weren't 70 years old. Let's not forget, Ortiz did make it to the 10th round, by the way, and he's 80 years old. 80 years old. Sorry, no, sorry, not 70. I meant 62. He's 62. 60 years old. That's what I meant to say. Not 70. That's wrong. He's 60. But still, this man, you got to look at Ortiz's career. You can't be sparring Mike Tyson in the 80s. And in 2017, still be like healthy and whatnot. Do you understand the hard sparring that Mike and Lennox Lewis gave him back in the Catskills? He was getting worked back in the 80s. 40 years later, do you think his mind and his body is still going to be the same after being one of Mike Tyson's prime, Mike Tyson in his prime sparring partners? Of course you're not. Mike Tyson took something out of Ortiz all them years ago. And now, this is when that deterioration starts to manifest when you get into your 60s and whatnot. That's the fact of the situation. No doubt, 100%. Wilder's best win is knocking out or having a life and going life and death with one of Mike Tyson's. Listen, Ortiz was old. Ortiz was relatively old when he was sparring Mike Tyson in the 80s. Yeah? That's Wilder's best win. Knocking out a man who was a sparring partner in the 80s. It's completely mental. And everyone, what gets me is everyone raves about it. Luis Ortiz couldn't even... Dave Allen would knock out Ortiz in a rematch. I really hope Dave Allen goes for that fight. He's talking about Povetkin after the Dave Price fight. Take out Ortiz. I'd love that. Because Christian Hammer... What do you lot think Dave Allen would do to Christian Hammer? He'd knock him out. He'd time him and knock him out. Ortiz, that's the fight I want to see, man. We should all start tweeting Eddie Hearn. Ortiz versus Dave Allen 2. 100%. Get that old Cuban out of here. And show you how it's done proper. Anyway... Listen, Wilder's put the writing on the wall. Dylan White and Anthony Joshua have pushed this. What he's come down to basically is Deontay Wilder has made his choice. There's two ways it can go with this. Either Anthony Joshua and Dylan White would push Deontay Wilder into an early grave, or Wilder has chosen to take the chicken's way out. He's chosen to be pushed into an early retirement. AJ and White have dug, rather than dig Wilder's grave, which is what would happen if he decides to get in the ring with them. He'd be leaving the ring in the grave. Instead, he's chose the chicken's way out is to leave in retirement. That's the two ways: retire, early grave, or early retirement. Wilder's taking his pick.